All right, welcome back, everyone. Have a nice, cool match from our modern MTG Wednesdays here at
Magic the
NeverBoard.
Gathering.
The Jathering. Better than Magic the Lathering.
Yes.
But some of these decks could be cleaned up with a little bit of soap. So let's see what we got here today. HootyHoo, which is actually owner of the shop, our beloved friend Bobby, playing Affinity, which is one of Marino's decks that he's borrowing. But he's an Affinity advocate now. He's working on building his own.
He's going to go with a turn 1 Vault Scourge, but no other plays here. Meanwhile, across the table on the right side of your screen, Anthony Mishkar piloting Mono Green Tron. He's going to start with a tower into an Expedition map.
Yeah, always a good open from Tron, just like looming the threats of turn 3 Tron in your face.
And looks like we're going to have an Ornithopter and I believe
Springleaf
Drum, yeah.
Pretty good start here. Not as quick as you'd like, but still pretty good.
Explore? Oh wait, no, that's
Sylvan
Sylvan
Scrying.
Scrying.
And without even cracking the map here. Oh, he's going to have to crack the map to finish off Tron. All right.
That's fine. I mean, he's going to have all 3 pieces, assuming that Expedition map isn't interfered with. We're going to have another Springleaf Drum come down. Wait, that's not Springleaf Drum. Is that a Signal Pest? I think that's Signal Pest, actually.
Oh,
That makes more sense.
my mistake.
I could not recognize it by the art. It's been a while since I've seen that particular art of Signal Pest.
Truly, yeah. It's the little dude on the grass. Double Signal Pest. Not a bad open there. Yeah, that's it.
Well, no. This is the. I'm looking at the Mirrored and Besieged version. I think there was a promo version that was printed as well, and I think that's what we're looking at.
So once Tron gets his mana here, is it still going to be a little difficult for him to deal with the counters going on Ornithopter if he's able to get himself an Arcbound Ravager?
And then, of course, there's always the threat of a Cranial Plating, the other big.
Oh boy, yeah.
Double Thoughtcast. HootyHoo trying to dig for anything that could help out his Alpha Strike, but he can't find something to cast, so he's just going to go ahead and swing for what looks like 1, 2, 5, 7 damage? Is that 7? Okay, I guess it's not. 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be 7. He only went to 11, though, if that's 2 Signal Pests, which I believe it is.
Mishkar miscalculating that one.
Is it a miscalculation? Because I can't
He's
remember.
trying to count it up now. There we go.
Oh yeah, okay, there we go. That's what I expected.
Who
Okay,
ain't letting you get away with that?
almost let him because the Signal Pests do pump each other, so they're not swinging for 0; they're swinging for 1. I think that's what the confusion was there.
In his own dojo, try to get miscalculated.
Anyway, there's that third Tron piece. Mishkar going to have 8 mana available. Going to drop that Wormcoil Engine, always dangerous, always a big threat against those aggro decks.
It's going to stop a lot of that damage from poking through now. He's going to have to rely on his flying sources to soar overhead of this Wormcoil.
Yeah, and all of these creatures cannot be blocked except by flyers. So Wormcoil Engine not going to be able to do anything on defense here. So it'll be there's a third Signal Pest.
Oh my goodness.
And a Steel Overseer. That'll help quite a lot to outrace this Wormcoil Engine. Remember, the Ugin board wipe not available for Mishkar in this match because all of HootyHoo's threats are colorless except for the Vault Scourge. But he's going to...
Guess he jumped the gun on going into combat there.
Yeah, go to combat. Mishkar might have a response here. He does have 1 mana available, so there could be like a Dismember jumping out of his hand maybe.
That'd be interesting.
And yes, sure enough, he's going to Dismember one of the Signal Pests. Or wait, where is he? He's thinking about it. Trying to do math in his head here.
A fake out.
Threatening it, not quite casting it yet, but threatening it.
Literally flashed it to him. Okay, he says.
No, he's going to decide not to do it. He's just going to take the damage to the face. That's another 7. That should bring him to 2.
So wait, why can't Signal Pest be blocked?
It can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach.
Oh, it just says that on the card?
Yeah, it's faux
okay.
flying.
That's interesting.
Mishkar being taken down to 2. HootyHoo goes to 27.
I guess Signal Pest is so tiny it takes a bird's keen eye to pick him out of the brush.
Something like that.
Alright, and Wormcoil coming in to taste some blood. He goes for Ancient Stirrings at the end step, looking for some sort of board wipe answer. He gets Karn.
That's not a board wipe, but that's a very strong play.
Yeah. Ugin would have been nice.
No, Ugin wouldn't have been nice. I just explained that only Vault Scourge would be taken out by Ugin's board wipe.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I think you get rid of the Steel Overseer here, but even then, it's only a matter of time before HootyHoo finds some way to push through one more point of damage. Getting rid of the Steel Overseer, giving Mishkar a breather, but we will see if the 6 life he gained from the Wormcoil Engine will be enough to survive. HootyHoo casting another Thought Cast, digging, digging, digging. He finds Blinkmoth Nexus.
There's that extra source of damage he's going to need.
Yeah, the Ink Moth isn't going to be relevant here because infect damage does basically nothing. I think that's also a Memnite that he set aside that he can't attack this turn. That nice full art Memnite from Game Day way back in the day. I've got 2 of them in my own home.
Nice. The old days of good promos. So did you hear that Dominaria is apparently going to have an exclusive buy a box promo?
Well, every set does. Every set does have some sort of buy a box promo. But what's exclusive about this one?
It's not in the main set.
Oh, it's not in the main set.
And that's the only way you can get it.
What is the card?
We don't know yet. They just announced that it's going to be a card.
Is it going to be standard legal?
It is going to be standard legal.
But the only way you can get it is as a buy a box promo.
Very weird, right?
Maybe
the reporting is off on that, but this
I was going to say
apparently
that
straight from Wizard's mouth as far as I heard. But
that wouldn't be fair if it was only available as a buy a box promo. It looks like Mishkar's scooping him up. I guess it's game over. Not enough to come back in it.
Yeah, it needed about 2 worms to deal with that.
2 worms to give himself a cushion.
Triple Thoughtcast, though. That's pretty interesting way to go. Didn't get a plating, though. Didn't get a Arcbound Ravager, so surprisingly, after digging that deep.
Sometimes going wide is enough. Double Signal Pest is nothing to sneeze at.
Truly.
And that Steel Overseer would have won him the game much earlier if Karn hadn't showed up to stave off the inevitable.
And Affinity looks like a pretty fun deck, but also maybe
Yeah,
a little sad on the late gamer against any kind of board wipe action.
I honestly cannot imagine Wizards printing a card for Standard that you can only get as a buy a box promo because that would be an availability issue.
It has to be awful, right? It has to be a bad card, otherwise it'll mess things up.
It either has to be a bad card or it has to not be Standard legal or there has to be some other way to get it.
Maybe
one
it's
of
an
the
alternative. It didn't say alt art. Maybe it's like an alternative version, like, some interesting, unique border to it or something along those lines.
Or maybe it could be like a misreading of the press release. Who knows?
That's true. Or a mistyping of their own press release, which I wouldn't put past them. Sorry, Wizards. We love you.
We love you, Wizards of the Coast, but sometimes people read the tea leaves and they get the wrong message from you. Like what happened with that leak of Dominaria stuff that came out on the Chinese site, and they just had to shrug their shoulders and go, well, we messed up. We're just going to have to release all this information now.
Sometimes I wonder if these accidents are actually accidents, though.
That has been a very popular conspiracy theory with this particular leak, too, because, the Masters 25 coming out soon hasn't really been well received by the player base, unfortunately. Everybody was, really excited about it at first because, Jace had gotten unbanned in Modern, and this was a new way to get him, but I guess players aren't liking the rest of the set for the most part, and they're just well, let's hope there's something good in Dominaria. And I guess this might be, if you believe in this particular conspiracy theory, that this might be Wizards' saving throw, just quote-unquote accidentally leaking all this information about Dominaria.
Yeah. Honestly, they say, bad PR is good PR, so even a mistake like this is, a quote-unquote mistake, is really cheering up a lot of people, getting them excited about a game that they kind of just got blackpilled on. They were just sitting here saying, oh my gosh, we got Iconic 2.0 coming our way. And then Dominaria, a little Bright Horizons. I'm so excited for that set.
Maybe Standard will improve.
Yeah, sure as heck needs it.
And it does need some, at least some form of reprieve from the terrible, terrible 2017 that it just had. Anyway, Mishkar gonna lead off with a Ancient Stirrings here, and it looks like he played a Grove of the Burn Willows turn 1, so he's got red in this deck, which I did not expect. Gonna find a Walking Ballista off that Ancient Stirrings.
I've noticed some Tron decks putting that in there. It's not just... I wonder what it's for. Yeah, I don't understand.
Pyroclasm, mostly.
Oh, okay.
That would make sense, because he's going up against an Affinity deck. Pyroclasm is very strong there.
Signal Pest and Memnite coming out?
Yep, Signal Pest and M Knight, the classic turn 1 start from the old days of Scars of Mirrodin and Standard.
Oh man, Affinity and Standard.
It wasn't Affinity, it was like Cold Red for the most part.
Oh, really?
It would also kill you very fast. It could kill you turn 3.
Cool. Even reminiscent of our own Standard, we got our cute little artifact in the mono red aggro deck.
HootyHoo dropping Darksteel Citadel into Vault Scourge. Going to use that extra life he got from the Grove of the Burn Willows, and then a second Signal Pest. He's got the double Signal Pest again. Going to swing in for 2 with the first one in the Midnight.
Ooh, it looks like he's got double mine, or is that power plant?
That's a Power Plant and a Mine and a Grove of the Burn Willows. So
Yeah,
not Tron yet, but he's 1 land off.
Yeah, but I think sitting in his hand, he's got another power plant.
Just going to go ahead and lay out that Ballista for 1, ready to pop off on one of those Signal Pests before combat, if he desires. He's going to pass turn. HootyHoo top decks a Blinkmoth Nexus.
So is Vault Scourge kind of like a go-to card in these Affinity decks, or some lists leave him out?
Oh, it's a go-to. You absolutely have to play it.
Okay.
Arcbound Ravager. Okay. It looks like Mishkar is just going to let this attack happen, I believe, and then block and kill the Vault Scourge. He's going to block the Midnight and then kill the Vault Scourge before combat damage. So the Midnight will be blocked, but the Signal Pests will each get through for 2. Oh, Midnight doesn't die. Don't take him off the table. It's only the Vault Scourge that dies. But the Pests are going to come in for 2. Mishkar explaining now that the Midnight is considered blocked despite the blocker dying.
Yeah, poof block. A
Very
lovely
old
lady
trick.
named Restoration Angel taught me that one.
And that's an Expedition map, I believe. Go ahead and crack that to get a tower.
And here we go.
Full Tron engage. He plays it.
A little
Does he
slower
have-
than he'd like.
I guess he's passing after that. Doesn't have a play off of that tower. Another Darksteel Citadel. Into...
Cranial plating, was that?
Did he equip the cranial plating? What happened there?
I'm not exactly sure. He quickly slid the card under before I got a good look at it.
And then...
Why would he equip it there?
Oh wait, no, that was a Springleaf Drum. So that he could
Ah.
tap that for blue and cast the Thought Cast. And off the Thought
Perfect.
Cast, he finds another Ravager and a third Signal Pest. Triple Signal Pest again from HootyHoo. From good old Bobby.
Gosh. Alright, we're apparently having some sort of weird, like, juju in the shop where people are drawing every copy of their cards.
You have 3 copies of things. I lose a lot of games that way. That should be a total of 5 damage coming in from those 2 Signal Pests and the Midnight. So Mishkar will go to 11. And then sacking the Darksteel Citadel to Arcbound Ravager. I think Bobby might be trying to sneak in some more damage. Yeah, he's going to load up the counters on that Signal Pest for more damage. 2 more.
Interesting. I guess
I
I
think
might
he's-
as well.
I think he's threatening lethal next turn anyway. Because there's going to be 3 Signal Pests coming in. You don't even need the
Swarm
Ravager,
Coil
I don't
hitting
think.
the field here? I don't even think that'll save you. He takes a look at the Ravager, making sure he understands his demise.
2 mana for what is that? We cannot see the title of that card. That's Pithing Needle. I think he's going to name Ravager with that.
So you might have a chance here to suck out, right?
He's got a chance to respond to it, but is he going to? I don't think he is. I think he's just going to let it go. Mishkar explaining now what Pithing Needle does. Any other plays here from Mishkar? He's got a lot of mana to work with. Okay, yeah, he is deciding to respond to the Pithing Needle now.
Smart. It's the way to do it.
Gotta
He's
ditch-
kind of forcing his hand here.
Yeah, going to ditch the Springleaf Drum and the other Darksteel Citadel, and now loading up the counters on that third Signal Pest. So now 2 Signal Pests on the table with +1/+1 counters on them. Mishkar laid down Sanctum of Ugin. Tap for 2, 5. Oh, stress for 7 for Karn. And now he's going to sack the... Yeah, he had the 2 floating from before because he tapped the tower. Or no, that was Oh, no. He had some mana floating from before, but whatever the case, he does have enough because he can use the Sinkin Vugan as well. So Karn is going to trigger Sinkin Vugan. He'll sacrifice it, get World Breaker into his hand.
Man, World Breaker.
I know what's Karn going to do. He's going to exile the larger of the two single pests.
Will it be enough? And do you think Bobby's going to try to take Karn out of here or just ignore it?
It depends on whether he has enough to kill Mishkar this turn. If he doesn't, I think you just go after Karn. Because the World Breaker's not on the table. Mishkar's just still shuffling. That World Breaker's actually in his hand now. Why is the World Breaker still on the table? It should be in his... There we go. For a second there, I thought we were going to have another case of someone not knowing what their cards do.
Mishkar's luscious locks making an appearance on camera here.
Yeah, he's got hair almost as long as mine. And yes, he is going to take out Karn here.
Yeah, you would think we're hippies. There's a lot of hair in this store.
Oh, yeah. And another tower. Mishkar's got a lot of mana to work with. Are we going to see Ulamog this game?
He's going to need something like that to come back.
Standing up. Probably going to ask for a ruling.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, Bobby did not top deck anything that could help him win the game that turn. Just another Darksteel Citadel. Again, finding 3 of things.
Some triplicates. So Bobby's
Maybe
Affinity
he could have swung in with the Inkmoth Nexus, and that is Ulamog.
He does Mog in. That's tough.
Both signal pests gone.
That is tough.
And Bobby top decking another Blinkmoth Nexus.
Ruh-oh.
He is in big trouble here. Gonna get his library ground out.
Affinity doesn't really have any options to get rid of an Ulamog, does it?
Play Chromatic Star, crack it. Dig for more gas. There's that World Breaker.
Uh-oh.
I think you just exile one of the Blinkmoth Nexuses just to cut him off from any possible comebacks.
Poor little Mem Knight.
And then a Wormcoil Engine.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. Grind out the top 20 cards of your library.
Count them out. Oh, how nice and methodical. See,
Bobby's used to being on the delivery side of the Ulamog, not the receiving end.
yeah, truly. Must kind of hurt him a little bit to see Ulamog betraying him like that. He cut it. He cut the exiled deck.
Good old Anthony Misplay.
That's so funny. Oh, he's looking through it. Was there a blood moon in there? What the heck?
That's a Blood Moon. I mean, that's a legitimate thing to bring in. I mean, after a certain point, Affinity doesn't even care about the colors of its mana because it could have like a Springleaf Drum or a Mog Slipper to get around the Blood Moon. So
That's
yeah,
funny.
that's a good thing to bring in. I
Reno
think,
always has crazy tech.
did
in
he
his
just
decks.
find Cranial Plating and attach it to the Mendite? Now he is threatening lethal. Maybe. It depends. Oh, that's a... Okay, I guess that's game over.
Got him. Dang, that was a strong start from Affinity there. I really thought Bobby was going to pull through, but he flooded the field with so much mana, he just hard casted them on.
Well, we're going to game 3. It's dead even.
So, a little more Dominaria talk. There's actually a card from it that I think is going to have a bit of impact in the modern metagame, and it's one of the rare artifacts. A historic card, I guess now they're calling it, right?
No, they're still called artifacts. It's just the word historic refers to artifacts, sagas, which are a new enchantment type, or legendary spells.
Truly. Well, the artifact I'm speaking of is a Dampening Sphere.
Yes.
And this card is a single-hand sideboard option that deals with both Tron and Storm as a 2-drop artifact. The first effect, if it says any
Is it a
mana-
2-drop? I thought it was 3.
I think it's 2, but we can
We
double check that.
should look this up to make sure our viewers get accurate information here.
Yeah, I will.
Something to
Actually,
do while
luckily,
these two players are shuffling.
Alright, well, either way, the first effect says any mana that taps for more than 1 mana is just going to be changed to a 1 lonely colorless mana instead.
That's what everybody's been saying, but like I'm reading it. Hang on. Where is it?
Damping Sphere.
Damping Sphere, yeah, it does cost 2 mana. If a land is tapped for 2 more mana, it produces colorless instead of any other type and amount. So yeah, it does change it to 1. You're right.
Yeah, so Tron, even if they connect all their pieces, they still only get 3 mana for it. And then the bottom ability says each spell a player casts costs 1 more to cast for each other spell that player has cast this turn. Meaning, impossible for Storm to pop off on you.
Impossible. Because they have to cast a ton of spells to get that Grave Shudder, Empty the Warrens off for any amount that's even worthy of consideration.
It's unique to see some cards like that getting into the game. I mean, that might even see play in like Legacy and Vintage.
Possibly.
When Cloud Post's getting shut down by that. The
yes.
Soul Land's getting shut down by that. Mishra's Factory.
Mishra's Workshop.
Workshop, yeah, excuse me.
Yeah, it doesn't affect Mishra's Factory at all. It's Mishra's Workshop that gets trashed.
All right, well, back to the game now. Bobby with a nice opening here.
Great start. He's got the Opal. He's got the Memnite. What's that land he just played? If he can play anything off of that to get that third artifact, he can turn on the Opal and maybe play something else. It's a Blinkmoth Nexus. Nope, he's got nothing. He's just going to pass.
So the Opal says 3 other artifacts?
It counts itself.
So that's not.
That's not an artifact naturally. It only becomes an artifact when you tap it for mana, or when you activate it and turn it into a creature. Excuse me.
Does it? Can he tap itself to make it a creature right there?
Yes, but then you won't get any advantage off the Opal because you'll have lost a mana because that land will already be tapped.
Perfect sense.
But now he's got the Ornithopter. He tapped decked an Ornithopter, so now he's got 2 mana. And he's going to play a Cranial Plating off of that. Always nice. Memnite getting in for some chip damage before it's probably going to suit up with that Cranial Plating. Or maybe the Ornithopter suits up.
I love the old like Da Vinci drawing Ornithopter.
Yeah.
Super cool. Nice.
All right, what do we got here?
Ghost Quarter coming in?
Ghost Quarter. He's just going to tap it immediately for mana to finish casting the Sylvan Scrying. Going to go find that power plant, put it in his hand. Mishkar's going to have to hurry if he wants to catch up.
Man, really strong opening here.
HootyHoo
the clock is on.
Yeah. Cranial Plating is going to connect with that Ornithopter very shortly. I think he's just doing math. Or maybe casting something.
Oh,
a second Cranial Plating. He can only use one. Wait, no, he's going to take it back.
He's like, no, I'm just equipping one. Take backsies.
I think he miscounted his mana. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Well, he's got a Mox Opal. He can cast that Cranial Plating if he wants and still swing with the first one. But let's see what he decides to do. He's organizing his lands here. I think he might be thinking about swinging with this Blinkmoth Nexus because that would increase the artifact count as well. No, he's going to cast a Thoughtseize.
Weird.
He wants to see what's in Mishkar's hand.
So do we.
That's a lot of lands in there, and a
two
Worldbreaker and
Planeswalkers.
Karn.
Is that
I think 2
Karn?
Karns?
Oh
2
my
Karns.
gosh.
He's going to take one of those Karns away.
His hand was Carney.
How big is this Ornithopter? It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. That's 6 damage coming in. Mishkar goes to 13.
Wasn't that 1 mana shy? Again, he only took 5 right there. Alright, popping the map down and the turn. A little too slow here.
That's
for
a
this
Mox.
onslaught.
That's another Mox Opal. One of those is going to have to go away because it's a legendary. So he can float 1 for mana in response. Yeah, they're pointing out right now that Mox Opal is legendary.
Alright, take.
He can still float it for mana, but he can only keep 1. Wait, no, he can't float it for mana because it's a state-based action. So yeah, he's got to pick 1. So he floats for mana, plays the second one, gets rid of the first one, then he can do it. Okay,
Perfect.
and now he's got enough to play and equip the second Cranial Plating. What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 12 damage from this Ornithopter. That's 13 exactly with the Memnite. That's game 3. HootyHoo taking
fast. Man,
That's Affinity,
if
folks.
you got nothing to get in Affinity's way early, you are in big trouble. Karn didn't even have a chance to hit the field. Nothing
No.
did.
He even took one away with the Thoughtseize, but the other one didn't even matter. Never found enough mana to cast it in time.
Look at that. Bobby, a.k.a. HootyHoo, taking matches in his own dojo, not letting people stumble over him in his own.
First time on camera, and he just...
Blows right through Tron. And that's a deck he's really familiar with. It's a good matchup for him because he's a big Eldrazi guy, so he runs like an Eldrazi Tron deck. So I think he has a little bit of insight on the matchup. Here we're seeing these Thoughtseizes coming in. And
Thoughtseize and Blood Moon, these are good answers to Tron. I tell you, if he ever goes up against any Tron deck, beware, because he's in your head. He's very familiar with the deck, and he knows exactly how to beat it.
It's so funny to see all the random sideboard choices that Affinity has access to. You don't really expect it at a glance.
At a glance, no, but Blood Moon is actually quite safe to play because almost the entirety of Affinity's plays can be done off of colorless mana. So if you turn that into red, well, that doesn't make any difference.
Truly. All right, guys. Well, that was a pretty nice one. We're going to be moving on to some more coverage here. So, thank you for tuning in very much, and hope you can come check us out here at NeverBoard one day.
More Modern coming to you guys' way. Stick around.